Honorable Director in Charge, Professor M. F. Dr. M. Shah, HOD, Physics Department, Professor Prince Ganai, Physics Department, and Dr. Yashwant Mehta, ex-HOD, Metallurgy Department, and Dr. Srinivas Misra, SS Coordinator, my friend, and other faculty colleagues and staff of the institute, and my dear friends. I would like to welcome you all to the Constitution Day, and I guess and I hope it is a challenge for me to, after speaking a person faculty from humanities department on the subject, from the engineering background, speaking on this issue in this topic is a challenge again. But however, I would like to summarize this to a particular level where I will not go into the details of the Constitution, where 395 articles when it was taken and in 22 parts with the 8 schedules it has been adopted, but now around 470 articles, 25 chapters and 12 schedules they have been amended, means they have got nowadays, and it might have changed. But the issue here is that we need to understand that how they have made. And on the 26th November 1949, when it was adopted, the Constituent Assembly, which was chaired by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and drafting committee was led by Baba Sahib Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. It has gone through the various steps. It is not that whatever the form we have taken, we are now seeing, it is not that in that form. They have submitted the draft to the Constituent Assembly and there were debates. You can see the Constituent Assembly debates in that how they have discussed each and every act before adopting that. So in this context, we need to understand that they have to give the republic from where they have taken all these things. They have not got from it has been got the criticism of it has been copied from other countries' constitution, but it is not. The essence of that acts, whatever we have been now it has been implemented, they are from the ancient history of the India. So Baba Sahib says that those who do not know the history, they cannot create the history. You should know the history in the perspective of the research, and all. Since it is a academic and research institute, we know that we need to know the history. See, they have given the republic term from where they have taken. See, the resources, whatever we have been having, we are utilizing, we have to use them. There should not be any discrimination in supplying that to everyone, each of them, irrespective of the gender, color, caste, religion and region. So it has been provided in the Constitution of India with the one man, one well, one person, one vote, which means one person, one vote, one well. It has been provided. So with this, in the preamble we have been given that social, economical, political equality can be achieved with that. One thing. And the second thing is, in the Constituent Assembly, again in the debates, there was a question. Since we are discussing, we have spent this much time and we have put this much effort, why there should be an amendment to the constitution, right? Obviously, because they have given those many articles, they have given those many chapters and schedules. So they have thought that one person in the committee has asked that why there should be an amendment to the constitution. Then Dr. Babasaheb Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has quoted Thomas Jefferson, the third American president, right? He has told that every generation will be treated as a country. Sorry, Babasaheb Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has quoted Thomas Jefferson, the third American president of US. He has mentioned in his work that every generation will be treated as a nation. See, in the chemical engineering terms, because I try to explain it in that way, there is a steady state and unsteady state. So, in that you have time and space. So, in the same way, we have space. This country is a space, and you have generation. Every generation is a nation. So, by the will of the majority, that particular generation can make the rules to rule that particular generation. None of the generation will have the right to affect the next generation. So that's why there should be an amendment to any constitution. So that was included in that with the power of the parliament. This constitution can be amended or all of its part will be replaced. So, and the next question comes that what are the rules and the principles, and whether the Constitution of India is a rule book only or it is a book with the principle. See, in his another notable work, in the Annihilation of Caste, Babasaheb Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has also quoted that rules are cooking recipes. Rules are cooking recipes. They will just let us know that how to do that, what to do. But the principle in nature, actually what is principle? You have to, with the consciousness, you will do, right? So in that context, if we go, the Constitution of India tries to develop the principles in the citizens of his country. And the next is, ours is the representative democracy. You see, ours is not only just democracy, ours is representative democracy. How it has been implemented in that? See, in any village, if you might have also seen these things. See, I am trying to explain I am not a brand ambassador for the Constitution of India, but we should be actually, right? So, in every village, in any village, if we are taking any village, how it will be? If he or she wants to become a village president, he or she should belong to that village, right? The other village person cannot become the president of that village. But when it comes to the member of legislative assembly, from that state, anyone can become the member of legislative assembly for any constituency. Likewise, the member of parliament, they can become from other state also, they can become the member of parliament to this state. Why they have made this kind of rule? Have you ever thought this? Because all of these are as a result of the quoted. I have quoted Babasaheb Dr. B.R. Ambedkar that we should know the history to create the history. See, the village has been developed, built by those particular inhabitants of that particular village. And there are rules to change the citizenship of that village if he or she stays some time in that village. So we can make the rules, we can change the rules, right? So in this way, they have implemented, they have put all the rules, they have inbuilt the Constitution of India, right? So what we need to do, we need to understand the essence of the Constitution, and we need to read. It is not that those who are ruling or those who are participating in the politics, those who are doing politics, they should know all these things. But we also need to know the Constitution of India, because everywhere we are using it, and how a country's constitution must be, how a nation's constitution must be. It should be like a mother, and Indian constitution is like a mother because it treats all its citizens with equality before law. And also I want to make a note on that. Today is also celebrated as National Law Day, right? Yes. So how it is, we are also having the justice term in the preamble, right? We need to have the justice, and like a mother, I have told, it safeguards us from our birth to death. The Constitution of India safeguards us from the birth to death, and that's why we need to understand and we need to read the Constitution of India, right? And with this, I conclude this speech. I thanking Dr. Srinivas Mishra, SS coordinator, and his team. Jai Bhind, Jai Bharat.